Hey, Stoney here with another game of Mechabellum. And in this game, you're going to see carry fans. This is something that we don't see a lot these days, but when we do see them and when we do see them working well, it's an absolute treat. All right, let's go. At the bottom here, we have a very strong 201 player. I believe he's currently in the 1900 range. His name roughly translates into the longer your name is, the more handsome you are. And he's playing as a fortified specialist. And he's up against Cursed, playing as an aerial specialist. And Cursed is also hovering just between 1900 and 2000. So a very high level game here. The blue player starts off with fangs and steel balls, and he decided to just continue on and adding more fangs. And Cursed started with tarantulas and fangs and added 2 passive crawlers. In the first game, the first round, I think the answer is pretty clear. If the steel balls can get to the tarantulas and bring them down, then it's going to be a win for our blue players. If it cannot, then it's probably going to be a win for our red player. Alright, it looks like the steel balls did actually get to those fans. And now the steel balls are just going to tank out these crawlers and bring them down one by one. Very well played. Alright, round 2, we're going to have some unit drops. I think Mustang is going to be a great pick for our red player. Mustangs are great at clearing out these fans with range. And our blue player decided to take a Scorpion. But he's not keeping the Scorpion, but instead selling it to get the technology on these fans. Whenever you're playing carry fans, the biggest challenge is to get them to level, right? Fans are just so fragile. Without anything in front of it, they simply refuse to level because they die right away. So if you don't have level fans by like round 3 or round 4, then you really cannot go carry fans because they're just not that good. They're not great at chaff clear. A squad of fans cannot clear a squad of crawlers. They're terrible against giant units when they're not leveled. And yeah, at round 4, if you still have level 1 fans, you might as well start using them as chaff again and start putting down actual units. So, looking at the blues board, he decided to just get range and decided to get even more fangs. I guess the goal right now is to use the steel balls as a potential tank before the tarantulas latch onto the fangs, allowing them to get a little bit more experience. Now, unfortunately for him, Cursed used a very common tactic of putting down a level 2 arclight at the corner, drawing a bunch of units over, and one of them is just going to be these steel balls, which are crucial because these are the actual tanks. So looking at the board here, right, you can see how this tarantula is just absolutely murdering fans on this side. On the other side, the steel ball is doing a bit of tanking, but these fans are just very strong. But are they strong enough to get this level 1 tarantula? It looks like the answer is going to be yes. Alright, we're left with a single tarantula with a couple balls to deal with. I think this tarantula should be able to get the balls. And range is so good because the tarantula is forced to walk another 30 meters just to get to those fans. And in that time, these fans are doing a considerable amount of damage. Now with the tower down, ooh, that's a very unfortunate retargeting to the tower. And I think these fans are probably going to get this spider. Ooh. Yep, still getting the spider. Alright, so now we're starting to see these fans work. I mean, I didn't even see what cards were offered at this round, but apparently it wasn't interesting enough for both players, so they both decided to skip instantly. And the reason I said we started to see carry fans is because they start to level. This one's already level 2, and I bet these back fans are probably going to get level pretty soon. This one is already almost at level 2. If it doesn't get killed entirely by this arc line, it should be able to get to level 2, and it looks like they are. We're gonna have a hacker at the front. The hacker's job is to create chaos, but also to provide a bit of a meat shield, because not only the hacker is able to get these large tarantula units, they are also able to get shield, so kind of serving as a role of a fortress, or getting shield protecting these fangs. And this is interesting, right? Because with the fangs, what they can do is clear out chaff very efficiently once they are high enough level. And also once they hit mech rage, allowing the hacker to just reach those tentacles out and latch onto one of these tarantulas. And if you can get one of those tarantulas, then boom, there goes another 30,000 HP on a level 2 tarantula. So Bombard is picked by Cursed, and we have a M-Core being picked up for the hacker. So he realizes just how important these hackers are for the later stage of the round. We see another Fang getting leveled, and of course this one at the corner that I was talking about earlier also got leveled. Bombard is kind of scary when you're doing carry Fangs because you just got so many units that you need to cover. So in this case, I think the blue player just decided, you know what, I'm not going to cover everything, so I'm just going to pray that it doesn't kill all of my units. It is a really good Bombard. It got 2 hackers, and therefore there's absolutely nothing on this side to defend the onslaught of these tarantulas and of course the crawlers. On the other side though, the tarantula did take the technology for range, which means now they're on the same range as Fangs at 115, right? Fangs also at 115. Not great, but it is something. Ideally, when you're doing Chaff clear, you want your Chaff clear unit to be of a longer range than your opponent's Chaff. This is one situation where Arclights are superior to Tarantulas is when they're playing against Fangs. Because if you have a longer range, your opponent's Fangs are forced to walk within your firing range. So your unit can just stand, not moving, and just continuously to fight. Whereas Tarantulas will have to shoot, step forward, and then shoot again, wasting precious seconds. Fire is added for the blue player. I think what he wants is just do a crazy Chaff clear up here. He also put down the hacker, getting ready to just get rid of this tarantula or turn this tarantula for the cause. 2 shield bubbles are added. This is something a bit more manageable. Bombard, I mean, you're going to have to cover a lot more ground, but with Incendiary, I think 2 shield bubbles should be sufficient. Our red player added 2 squads of Overlords. This is a very curious decision. I don't think I agree with this decision. I think if anything, I would go for a ranged Wraith. It would be a lot better dealing with these Fangs. But I think the reason behind the Overlord is to deal with these steel balls. Alright, fire's coming down. And Fangs are clearing out all this Chaff in front. And can this hacker get a lock on? Yep, both hackers got lock on this tarantula. That's beautiful. Which means I don't believe these tarantulas would be able to get down there and do the damage. Yep, that's all. 1 tarantula down. That's going to be 2 tarantula. Oh, and the turn immediately getting the tower, which means we're going to get 2 more tarantulas on the other side. And with the late arriving Fangs that's still coming in, and the Overlord so busy shooting at his recently turned tarantulas, I think it's going to be a huge round for our blue player. And these Fangs are going to get another level, I think. Ooh, just short of another level. But they'll get it next round. Alright, things are starting to look a little bit scary, right? You got so much Chaff and so much Chaff clear in the form of these Fangs that kind of serve as a dual purpose. And once you Chaff clear the front lines, these hackers can absolutely wreak havoc on these tarantulas. Another tech gets taken for the Overlord, Launcher Overload. I'm still not convinced that the Overlord is the right choice. I feel like the Wraith would have done a lot better getting rid of that initial round of Fangs and just push forward and getting the hackers as well. Overlords are just a little too slow with Chaff clear. And I get it, right? You got steel balls coming your way, but yeah, I'm not convinced. I feel like Wraith, it could do a lot better. Wraith with 8 guns and range can deal almost just as well against these steel balls as a Overlord with Launcher Overload. And it can do a magnitude better against these Fangs. 1 Tarantula all got stolen right away and is working to get rid of the Chaff. We got some high-level crawlers coming in. Another Tarantula is locked on. And remember, these hackers are now level 2, so they're hacking them twice as fast. Another Tarantula gets locked on, and the final Tarantula gets locked on. And these level 1 Overlords are just having a really hard time getting through this thick army of fangs. And this is actually quite painful to watch. So if you're the rep player here, what would you do in this case? Is that going to be Stormcallers? Is that going to be Overlord with Incendiary? Speaking of Overlords with Incendiary, you have them here. You also have Wraith. I think Wraith, especially level 1 here, might be a little too late, but we'll see. He is going to get range. I'm hoping he's also going to get Degen Being as well. With Degen Being, the Overlords can take Photon, right? The third technology, a little bit expensive, but it is going to prolong the life of these Wraith, allowing to clear out the initial pack of fans, but also moving on to the next round, next unit, which is going to be these hackers. You need these Wraith to stay a little bit longer, because if they don't, then these fans, sort of the midline fans, start to walk forward, and your Overlords are essentially forced to shoot at these fans. So not a great timing if your Wraith die too fast. All right, so instead of Photon, he's just going to take Field Maintenance. I think level 1 Wraith still out heals level 2 Fangs just a little bit. Triple Missile went down, getting rid of this Crawler immediately. The reason he wants to do that is because once the Crawlers are gone, these hackers are free to get onto the Tarantulas, and we have all seen how great these Tarantulas are once they're hacked. Especially this one right here, because there's no unit to shoot, right, the one in the middle, and it's just going to turn around and shoot the tower. That's a brilliant move of just getting that one single Tarantula. And with the tower debuff, the fans are just moving in and they're doing work. And remember, every round, some of these fans are getting leveled up. And once they're getting leveled, they are so terrifying. Wow. This is a huge round. Wow. This is actually a killing blow for our blue player. What a clean game. And again, that is not very easy to pull off. If anything, this is a very difficult game to pull off. But just look at how many fans he's got. His board consists of nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 squads of fans. Most of them leveled. Wow. I've never seen a game like this, so I'm definitely being schooled here. But it's just so fascinating to see a strategy like this work. So I definitely want to try this in my games. And if you have any advice on how to defend against something like this, or even how to consistently make this strategy work, let us know in the comments. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I got another one that's even better. Check it out, and I'll see you on the next one.
Prepare your tactics. Mechabellum's calling. Deploy your fortress. The battlefield's alive with swarms.